What are Rigoberta Menchú's controversies? When we think about Rigoberta Menchú, we often focus on her role as a champion for indigenous rights in Guatemala. However, her story is not without its controversies. Let's take a closer look at what has sparked debate around her life and work. One of the main issues revolves around her autobiography, Rigoberta Menchú. This book gained international attention for highlighting the struggles of indigenous people during the Guatemalan Civil War. Yet, some critics have pointed out discrepancies in her narrative. For instance, anthropologist David Stoll raised questions about the accuracy of her accounts. He noted that some events, like the deaths of her family members, did not happen as she described. In fact, one brother she mentioned as having died of starvation was reported to have never existed. Another point of contention is her education and language claims. Menchú stated in her book that she did not attend school and learned Spanish only shortly before telling her story. However, investigations revealed that she actually had a middle school education at Catholic boarding schools and spoke Spanish earlier than she suggested. Critics argue this portrayal was meant to emphasize her identity as a traditional indigenous woman. Menchú's connections to political movements also raised eyebrows. Some believe her narrative was shaped to support the guerrilla movement during the Civil War. There are claims that she may have altered certain events to fit the political climate of the time, especially regarding land conflicts and violent incidents involving her family. Additionally, Menchú has explained that her autobiography is a composite of various stories from her community, not strictly her own life. Critics argue that presenting these composite narratives as personal testimony can mislead readers about the factual basis of her account. These controversies highlight the challenges indigenous activists face when sharing their histories. Indigenous storytelling often relies on oral traditions and collective memory, which may not align with Western expectations of factual accuracy. Despite the debates over specific details, Menchú's work has brought significant attention to the suffering and cultural survival of indigenous peoples. Her story reflects the ongoing tensions between indigenous ways of knowing and the demands of political advocacy.